Alright guys, welcome back to another eald'narche video where we are going to do some pull planning for the month of April. Now, if you guys want to let me know what you guys are planning to pull for either before you watch this video or afterwards, let me know in the comment section below. I'm curious to see what everybody is going to be pulling and or skipping for the month of April. And of course, as always, don't forget, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for future content. We are getting closer and closer to 2,000 subscribers. And y'all support has been amazing, and I, as always, want to thank you for the awesome support. And again, I know I'm plugging myself in way too much lately, but I just want to let everybody know that I do have a Discord server. It has been fun interacting with newer people that have been joining recently, and the community in my server has been growing. We're almost at 200 people, which is pretty awesome. So it would be fun to talk and interact with new people or people that have been kind of hesitant in joining the server. So, but yeah, let's jump into it. So first things first, excuse me, is going to be Emperor and Celeste. Emperor is getting his BT weapon. Celeste is getting his her LD weapon. Now, with Emperor, in my in-depth video, I said that I don't really think I need his burst weapon. I think with just his LD, which I already have, is just perfectly fine for him, at least for my needs. But don't get me wrong, his burst, the burst effect that you get from his burst weapon is not bad. I mean, you get an increase in brave damage dealt, an increase in the maximum brave damage limit, increase in brave damage dealt to debuff targets. So technically you would have like an extra 50% brave damage increase, because most likely they will have debuffs on them if you have Emperor on the field. And then an increase to the increase in brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt whenever the targets are also debuffed, which only lasts for one turn, but still. No, I mean, like, his burst effect is pretty cool. It's pretty nice to have. But again, I feel like with just his LD, I think I'm most likely going to skip out on him unless I get his burst weapon on a free pull, which, I mean, that's a rarity for me. So I think I'm going to pass up on Emperor's BT weapon. I mean, I do have the tokens if I really wanted to pick up his BT weapon, but I think I'm just fine. Like this, there are two other burst weapons that are coming out later on that that are my bigger targets and not Emperor himself. So I'm going to pass up on him. Celeste, I am going to be pulling for her LD weapon. I love the fact that she has that follow-up with her LD ability whenever the enemy acts. It's also nice that with that follow-up, you do get some brave regen. Oh yeah, you do get some brave battery, some HP regen, and a few other things. So and Celeste is a tank, and I do like my support / tank type of units. So Celeste is one that I will definitely be going for out of these two banners whenever the Ramu Divine event is coming out. Afterwards is going to be Aerith. Now Aerith, you already know, it's FF7. I gotta have it. But in general though, whenever I do my in-depth video, which I will probably talk about it after the Ramu Divine event, to kind of sum up what she does, basically, whenever you use an LD ability, she gives brave to the party, and then what she does is whenever she basically has a follow-up, is pretty much what it is. But to make things even better is that you don't really have to use skills, because if you use her brave attack after you use the LD weapon and on her following turn you use her brave attack, it will do an HP attack and nobody is going to lose any brave of the HP damage dealt that you did to the enemy. So that, you know, that basically sums up what her LD weapon does, which is why I'm pulling for her, because just because of that. But not only that, but I mean, you know, the brave that you get back, you know, obviously Aerith as a character, she is good, and but you know, we'll talk a little bit more in depth whenever we get closer and closer to her release. Next up is eald'narche with his Lost Chapter. Now they announced in the community live stream that he was going to get his full like LD boards, etc., because I know on the JP side there was like some weird thing that happened where, like, I guess like they kind of fixed them in a way or got his LD. I forget exactly what it was, but basically like we're getting like his full kit LD boards extension and everything whenever his Lost Chapter drops. His LD ability, I mean, you know, out of all the LDs that I've seen so far, this one is not like all that, in my opinion. I mean, like the only thing that I can remember off the top of my head with Nacho Boy is going to be that after you use this LD, you do get a free ability used to your skills. Outside from that, you also do plant a debuff on the enemy, which lowers defense by 20%, and it steals Brave by 10% of his max Brave. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't. It's not. It's something. To me, it kind of feels like it's an extra ability at this point for eald'narche. So, am I going to pull for him? I mean, his BT will come in July, I believe, and I have another opportunity to pull for his LD weapon. So, I am thinking about skipping him, but what I may do is probably throw like maybe 50 tickets, since we are going to be getting a whole bunch of tickets and gems from the Divine Ramuh summon boards. I'll probably throw about like 50 tickets or so and see if I can get lucky, but I don't think I'm going to push my luck in trying to chase for his LD weapon. So I think he is leaning towards a skip in my book. Afterwards, we're going to have the Aranea event. Now, the event is going to be, I guess, like re-released. I don't know. But basically, for this round, Aranea will be getting her LD weapon. She'll get a level 80, so on and so forth. So with her LD weapon, if I remember correctly, basically how it works is that you... How can I say this? You have... if I'm not mistaken, I believe you have... Yeah, okay. So while her buff from an LD is active, it increases her attack by 20%, and it cancels the target's break status before attacking. Now, this doesn't only apply to her LD weapon. It'll apply to her HP, her skill 1, and her skill 2, and her EX weapon, which, I mean, both skills already do that, but now, like, you will always be... pretty much putting the enemy into break status. It doesn't even matter where they are at. They are going to get, the break, basically, is what her LD weapon does. So, I mean, her LD weapon really helps out with her kit in general, because you guys already know we got to have that one buff so that way we can get the plus versions, and then we're able to do this and that and get the maximum potential out of Aranea. But like with her LD weapon, it really helps out a lot. I am personally going to pull for her LD weapon just because she is a fun unit to use, and she's not like she's not the broken Aranea that we had when she first came out to Global Opera. So that's a whole nother video just for that topic. But yeah, I will most likely be pulling for Aranea's LD weapon just for some fun shenanigans. Afterwards, it's going to be Ustola, who is going to be the next burst character, or the mid-April burst character. Now, I am 1000% going to be pulling for Ustola. If I get her LD, I will token her BT, and if I get her BT, I will chase for the LD weapon. Now, to kind of sum it up with her kit, her LD weapon basically gives her the what you call it? What is it called? I forget. Where is her LD weapon? Let's look. All right, so her LD weapon gives her the special effect Blood Lily, which raises the party's attack by 20%, and then it also increases whenever, because she has a stack mechanic now. So whenever you get to 3 stacks, her Brave attack changes into a an AoE Brave, like multiple Brave hits plus HP attack, which is nice. So yeah, it does the Arrow 2 of the 7th Dawn. Consumes 3 level Blood Lilies and becomes a 2-hit AoE Magic Brave plus AoE HP attack delivered 3 times, and it increases own Brave by 20% of the total HP damage dealt after each attack. Another thing to note is that with her LD weapon, she does have that basically, she breaks the enemy. It doesn't even matter how much Brave they have. She will cancel whatever. She will break the enemy pretty much with her LD weapon. Now, her BT weapon, though, with her effects, it raises party's attack by 50%, increases stolen Brave overflow limit by 30%, max Brave damage limit plus 20%, increases HP damage dealt by 20%. Now, also another thing to note is that Ustola was one of the first 2 characters to get a BT plus in JP, and she has become amazing. She is one of my top tier favorite support characters as a BT plus unit, and the changes that they made to her are fire, and she is definitely future proof in my opinion, based on the amount that I have used her in the past. So I am definitely going to be pulling for her BT weapon and her LD weapon, just because of what she brings to team comps and what she brings whenever BT Plus arrives to Global Appaomnia. Next up is going to be Sarah. Now, Sarah, well, I mean, do you want me to just give a straight answer? I'm gonna be skipping. I pulled for her LD in JP, and I was not impressed. Basically, like, they really didn't do anything at all to Sarah. All that they gave her was basically what her skill 1 and skill 2 practically already do. And to me, that doesn't really sound all that, when I should just go ahead and just not even pull him, because I basically have her LD in her skill 1 or skill 2. You know, there might be a few differences here and there, but other than that, I mean, you know, I was not impressed. I really was not impressed. Now, the one thing I do want to note is that during the community live stream that we had, Sarah was not mentioned as part of the banners that is going to be dropping for the month of April. So this may or may not change, unless all of a sudden they have another surprise for us for the month of April, whenever it is her time for her banner to be released. If they are releasing it, then, I mean, you know, this obviously would change up. Unless they're also planning to do something with Sarah as a global first, then you know, that will change up everything about her. But we'll see. As of right now, it's a big no for me pulling for her LD weapon, because I really don't see much out of her whenever I picked up her LD weapon on my JP account. And then, of course, I am curious to see what Square Enix has plans for her, since they didn't announce her. So we'll see. Afterwards, we have Trey with his Lost Chapter that is dropping. Now, Trey with his LD weapon is pretty dope. Let me get to it real quick. So basically, it does its attack. So it has a 3-turn. I think it's a debuff. Yeah, it's a debuff that triggers the Fire Shield trap after the target's move, and increases his own brave by 50% of his attack, and is a 4-hit range brave plus HP attack done 4 times, which is pretty cool. And it does not initiate chase. Fire Shield, it steals the brave by 10% of the max brave, increases brave damage dealt, and it triggers the trap attack after the target's turn. So this is actually a pretty good LD, and it's actually a pretty good LD as an LD call as well. Now, I initially did not pull for Trey when he first came out to global. I actually skipped out on him for whatever reasons, I forget. But this time I'm actually going to try to get his LD. I'm going to limit myself on the amount of tickets that I'm going to go for his LD, because if I do get his LD, I will token his EX, because I do not have his EX. So I will throw maybe about 100, 150 tickets to see if I can get lucky with his LD weapon. But outside from that, I don't think I will be pushing my luck on it. I can't remember if his LD has reprinted in the past. If it did, then cool. If I don't get it in April, then I will pull for it whenever he releases again. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. 100 to 150 tickets is what I'll do for Trey, and hopefully I can snag his LD weapon. And then finally, we're going to talk about Waka. Now, Waka was also not mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, in the community live stream, which I thought was odd. I feel like they might just be holding off until the following community live stream, where they will announce him and then boss rush and so on and so forth. Now, with his LD weapon, a lot of people didn't really like his LD weapon because it's kind of RNG based. So basically how it works is that Waka will do his attack, and then he will put a frame debuff on the enemy. Now, the thing is, though, that frame debuff can be any of these 3 debuffs. They could be a stat down debuff. They could be a freeze debuff, which is similar to Setsu's freeze attack. And then he can put a paralysis, which I believe is a confusion, debuff on them. It could be any of these 3. Now, because the debuff lasts for 3 turns, it will switch between any of these 3. So if it starts at the freeze, it'll go to paralysis or the stat, and then, you know, it's the same for all the other ones. Now, for the stat, basically it decreases their enemy's attack, defense, initial brave, max brave by 50%, which is pretty big, and then it increases the brave damage dealt taken by 20%. The freeze is again the same thing as as Setsu's freeze ability, they cannot get any type of brave. And then the paralysis as well. Paralysis, they can't do anything. So I will be pulling for Waka's LD. I really enjoyed Waka's LD. I know a lot of people are not crazy fans of the whole like RNG type of thing that he has. But I like it. And like so far in my uses with Waka, I never had an issue with him. So I am planning to pull for his LD weapon for sure. And hoping that I have my fun once again with Waka and his LD ability. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video, guys. So real quick, we shall go through this again. Skipping, unless I get lucky on the free pull. Pulling for Celeste's LD. Aerith, pulling. Nacho, most likely going to be skipping. Aranea, pulling. Ustola, definitely pulling. Sarah, skipping. Trey, pulling with a limit, of course. Same for the other two that I mentioned earlier. And then Waka, I will definitely be pulling for. So, yeah, let me know what you guys are going to be pulling for the month of April. And other than that, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I will catch y'all in my next video.